We don't want to have immortality with continued aging.
Concept of immortality in the picture of Dorian Gray. If it were I who was to be always young, and the picture that was to grow old, for that I'd give my soul for that. After having his soul dropped within, a painful Dorian gained immortality. He doesn't age and seems to be immune to all conventional illnesses, diseases, viruses, and infections. We could say that immortality in the picture of Dorian Gray has a negative connotation more than a gift. It seems a curse, something incredible and powerful, and the beginning that with time reveals all these contradictions after have lived every emotion, anger, desire, despair, joy, love, passion, sadness, sorrow, what is left? Only apathy and boredom, a killing sense of guilty due to bad choices in life.
The Dorian Gray case, remember Dorian Gray stopped aging, but when he looked in the mirror, he saw his right age. By the way, try it. I'm doing that. I'm looking at the mirror and I'm saying, well, I myself am not aging. I'm just seeing that in the mirror. A really big task is the reversing aging, or the Wolverine case, or the fountain of youth, of taking old people and making them young. That's very difficult, but we can do some of it. And then Vittorio will talk about Forever Young, really, about the Peter Pan case. Isn't it going to be easier just to take somebody at 20 and give them some therapy every month or every year and stop the aging altogether? I think what really was important for us was to know that you can take a sperm of a 70-year-old man and an egg of a 50-year-old woman, and we can measure, Vadim can measure their age probably, but when the blastocyst is formed, we erase the age of the parents. So we have this built-in system where we can erase the age. So how do we erase the age later on, Vittorio?
Well, that's a great question, and frankly, this has been the inspiration of our work over the course of the last 10 to 15 years. I have to say, which is exactly what you just said, like realizing that there is already for an evolutionary kind of goal, there is already a machine that exists in nature that is responsible, for erasing. So the machine was built for other purposes, right? To, as you said, to change the identity of two fully differentiated cell types, the sperm and the egg, and make a new organism out of those. But embedded in that molecular mechanism, there is already a lot to learn about how epigenetic marks, for example, of aging can be erased, reset, and wiped out. And this, in my opinion, this has been the inspiration for two fields which will have a lot to say and to do in the future, for geroscience and in the longevity field. The first, of course, is the discovery of iPSCs, because the work on nuclear transfer was the inspiration somehow for the work that led then to the discovery of Shinya Yamanaka of iPSCs. Which is the kind of the simplification of what nature does with reproduction in a test tube by reprogramming the somatic cells to iPSCs. And you can think about iPSCs, and we have endless examples about that you can really use iPSCs to generate in a cell autologous fashion, in an individual fashion, unlimited numbers of stem cells, tissues, organs. Of course, the field is developing, but there's endless examples of how iPS technology can be utilized to generate new organs, new tissues, which are youthful, and they can replace a dysfunctional aged organ in any patient virtually. And the second, I think the second field that I think is now taking off is the idea that if you control that reprogramming process without going all the way back to an undifferentiated state, which is, the IPS state, if you can control that reprogramming process very tightly, very, very finely and precisely, you can actually, without going all the way back to iPSCs, you can rejuvenate, bring the clock back virtually in any tissue, any cell type in the body. And maybe not in the so near future, but very soon, I think that we will be able to really start thinking about therapies that are going to be able to reverse the clock, whatever that clock is, reverse the clock of any cell type. So, and again, you can think about this going back to the Peter Pan kind of analogy. You can think about applying this to aged individuals, so you can reverse that process, or you can prevent the process from happening. And so, exciting things to happen in the future.